Okay, students. Okay, today we'll see just basics about the statistics. Okay, if you see generally these statistics, it's defined as a branch of mathematics dealing with the collection, presentation, analysis, and the interpretation of numerical data that you will call it as a statistics, right? So it's defined as the branch of mathematics dealing with the collection, presentation, analysis, and the interpretation of numerical data is known as statistics. And if you see regarding this biostatistics, which is the application of statistics to a wide range of topics in the biology, you will call it as a biostatistics. Generally, if you see, this will be used in the biological experiments, especially in the medicine, pharmacy, agriculture, and the fishery. Okay, in these cases they are going to be using the concept of these statistics, and they are going to be collecting those data. Okay, and they are going to be summarizing and analysis. Okay, they are going to be doing the analysis of the data. Okay, from these experiments, and they are going to be interpreting the data, that you will call it as a biostatistics, right? And if you see regarding these measures of central tendency, that you will also call it as a statistical average. Clear? See, it's an average. If you see generally what is meant by this measures of central tendency, an average is a single value, the average of the data that is used to represent all the values in the series. Clear? That means in the series you are having the different values, but a single value that represents all the values in the series, okay, that you will call it as a measures of central tendency. Clear? Since an average is somewhere within the range of data, it is sometimes refers as measures of central value. Is it right? See, what is meant by this measures of central tendency? It's an average, okay? Is a single value, the average of data that is used to represent all the values in a series. Clear? Since an average is somewhere, okay, which is within the range of the data. See, that's why sometimes these measures of central tendency can also refer as the measures of central value, right? We are having different measures of central tendency, like mean, median, and mode. Clear? See, again, this mean, you are having three types of mean, that is arithmetic mean, geometric mean, as well as a harmonic mean. Clear? See, these are the three different types of measures of central tendency. We'll see one by one regarding these measures of the central tendency, right? First one, we'll see about the arithmetic mean. Okay, it is defined as the sum of all given observations divided by the total number of observations is known as arithmetic mean. Clear? What is this arithmetic mean? It is defined as the sum of all the given observations divided by the total number of observations is known as arithmetic mean, and it is denoted by x bar. Okay, if you see the formula for this x bar, that is sum of all observations divided by total number of observations. See, that is x bar is equals to summation x divided by n. Okay, this is for raw data. And next one is sigma x is equals to summation fx divided by n. This is for the frequency data. Okay, this capital N indicates the total frequency. Clear? See, next for this arithmetic mean, okay, that can be calculated by step deviation method, or you will also call it as a shortcut method for determining this arithmetic mean. Okay, that is denoted as x bar is equals to a plus summation fd by capital N into c. Okay, here this d is equals to x minus a by c. Okay, see what is meant by this a? It is any arbitrary mid value, you will call it as a. Okay, c indicates class interval. Okay, x indicate, okay, mid value of class, and capital N that is equals to total frequency. Okay, by seeing one example, you can understand how we are going to calculate this kind of arithmetic mean for the raw data as well as for the frequency data, as well as by using this shortcut method, how we are going to be determining this arithmetic mean, we'll see. Okay, first we'll see for this raw data how we are going to be calculating this arithmetic mean. Clear? See, this is, you will call it as a raw data. That means here there will be no frequencies. Clear? See, without the frequency, okay, whatever the data that is going to be available, that is simply a raw data. Clear? Here how we are going to be calculating the mean, that is x bar is equals to summation x by n. Okay, this summation x means, okay, these are all the variables. Clear? If you see, add all these variables, that is 9 plus 10, 24 plus 14 plus 16 plus 32 plus 40 plus 50 plus 30 plus 33, okay, divided by, that is total number of variables or total number of observations. Okay, that is 10. That is see 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Okay, that is total number of observations is 10. Okay, then you will get the arithmetic mean for this raw data is 25.6. Clear? If suppose you are having a frequency data, okay, for example, if you see, the following is the frequency distribution of the number of telephone calls received in 245 successively in 1 minute intervals at an exchange. Clear? Number of calls, if you see, 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Okay, and if you see the frequency, that is they have given 14, 21, 25, 43, 51, 40, 39, and 12. That means they have given the frequency data also along with this raw data. So how we are going to calculate this arithmetic mean? Okay, see, by the formula, that is that is x bar is equals to summation fx divided by capital N. Clear? And here you see, that is x, that is number of calls. Okay, this data already they have given, right? 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Okay, the frequency also they have given already here, but we have arranged this data in this format. Clear? And finally you have to calculate this fx. Clear? Fx means this 0 into 14, that is 0. Okay, 1 into 21, that is 21, and 2 into 25, that is 50. 3 into 43 is 129, and 4 into 51 is 204, and 5 into 40, that is 200. 6 into 39, that is 234, and 7 into 12, that is 84. Clear? See, if you are adding all these frequencies, that you will call it as capital N. Okay, N is equals to total number of frequency, that is 245. And see, summation fx means the total value. Okay, it is 922. Okay, you substitute these values in this formula, that is x bar is equals to summation fx divided by n. Okay, summation fx, we got the value as 922, right? 922 divided by capital N, that is total number of frequency, that is 245. So you will get the value as 3.7633. Okay, this is the arithmetic mean for the frequency distribution. Is it clear? For the raw data, you can calculate this arithmetic mean by simple formula x bar is equals to summation x by n. If they have given this frequency data, then you can calculate the arithmetic mean, that is x bar is equals to summation fx divided by capital N. Okay, so this is about the raw data, and for the frequency data, how we are going to calculate this kind of arithmetic mean. Clear? And next, if you see, for this frequency data itself, if the frequency data is continuous, clear? If you see, they have given the continuous frequency distribution. Okay, that means if you see the wages 5 to 10, 10 to 15, 15 to 20, 20 to 25, 25 to 30, 30 to 35, 35 to 40, and 40 to 45. Okay, and the number of workers, okay, between these, that is 3, 8, 11, 16, 22, 35, 10, and 5. No doubt this is also a frequency they have given, clear, but this is a continuous frequency distribution. Is it clear? And if you see, you have to arrange the data in this format, that is wages, and next one is, this is number of workers, means this is the frequency. You have to add this, so you will get the total number of frequency, that is 110. Here you have to take the mid values, that is you will call it as X. Clear? See, in the previously in the raw data, they have given the value X directly, but here they have given the intervals. Clear? See, if they have given the intervals like this, you have to calculate the mid values that acts as an X. Okay, what is meant by a mid value? That is 5 plus 10. Okay, that is 15 by 2. Okay, that is 7.5. Next, 10 plus 15 by 2, that is 12.5. Next, 15 plus 20 divided by 2, that is 17.5. Next, 20 plus 25 divided by 2, that is 22.5. Next, 25 plus 30 divided by 2, you will get 27.5. Next, 30 plus 35 divided by 2, you will get 32.5. Next, 35 plus 40 divided by 2, you will get 37.5. And finally, 40 plus 45 by 2, you will get 42.5. Clear? Now we are having the frequencies. Now you are having these X values. You calculate Fx. Okay, that means you have to multiply this F and X values. That means 3 into 7.5, you will get 22.5. Next, 8 into 12.5, you will get 100. Next, 11 into 17.5, that is 192.5. Next, 16 into 22.5, that is 360. 22 into 27.5, that is 605. 35 into 32.5, that is 1137.5. 10 into 37.5, that is 375. And 5 into 42.5, that is 212. Clear? Here also you have to calculate this summation fx, that is 3005. Clear? And finally we have to calculate the arithmetic mean, that is sigma fx divided by n. Okay, summation fx, that is 3005 divided by n, that is 110. You will get the value of 27.3182. Okay, see, this is, if they have given like this continuous frequency distribution in this way, then you have to calculate first the mid values, then you have to calculate the fx, so that you will get this arithmetic mean, okay, by substituting this formula. Okay, and next we'll see, that is shortcut method. Okay, I already told you we are also having one shortcut method, or you will also call it as a step deviation method. Okay, that means you can calculate this arithmetic mean by step deviation method. Okay, see, this is previous data, whatever the data we have taken in the previous example, it's the same data, that is the wages. Okay, number of workers. Okay, next one is we have taken the mid values also. Here, in case of step deviation method, you have to calculate one value, that is small d, that is equals to x minus a by c. Okay, see, I told you this a means which is an arbitrary middle value. See, that means if you see this or this, okay, 27.5 or 22.5, anything you can take it as a middle value, that you will call it as an arbitrary value. But here I have taken this 22.5 as a. Clear? The next one is the x, means these are the values of x. Clear? And c means that is the class interval, that is 5 to 10, the interval is 5. Okay, see, in between 10 to 15, the interval is 5. Clear? And if you see in between 15 to 20, the class interval is 5. Clear? Here small d is equals to x minus a by c. See, x means 7.5 minus a value is 22.5 divided by the class interval is how much? That is 5. So you will get the value as minus 3. Clear? In the same way you have to calculate for this also, that is 12.5 minus 22.5 divided by the class interval, that is 5. You will get minus 2. Next minus 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, you have calculated the d values. Next you have to calculate f into d. That means this is the d value and this is the f value. Okay, that is 3 into minus 3, that is minus 9. 8 into minus 2, that is 16. 11 into minus 1, that is minus 11. 16 into 0, that is 0. 22 into 1, that is 22. 35 into 2, that is 70. 10 into 3, that is 30. 5 into 4, that is 20. Clear? Here you have to calculate the summation FD, that is the sum of all these values, that is 106. Clear? If you had seen previously, I told you for the step deviation method or shortcut method, the formula is x bar is equals to a plus summation FD divided by n into c. Clear? Here if you are substituting the value, that is a is equals to this 22.5, that is the summation FD, we got 106 divided by capital N, that is 110 into the class interval is 5. Clear? By substituting all these values in this formula, you are getting the value of 27.3182. Okay, this is how we are going to be calculating the arithmetic mean by the step deviation method or the shortcut method. Clear? And next we'll see the next type of mean, you will call it as geometric mean. Clear? Previously until now we had seen about the arithmetic mean. Okay, now we'll see about the geometric mean. See, what is meant by this geometric mean? Actually it's a set of n observations. Clear? A set of n observations is the nth root of their product. Okay, thus if x1, x2, x3, so on, that is xn are the given n observations, then the geometric mean is given by the formula, that is n root x1 into x2 into x3 and so on xn. Clear? See, another formula is also having for this raw data, that is geometric mean is equals to anti-log of, that is summation log x divided by n. Okay, these two formulas is for the raw data. See, that is geometric mean is equals to n root, that is x1 into x2, x3 and so on xn. Okay, there is another formula for the raw data itself, that is geometric mean is equals to anti-log into summation log x divided by n. And for frequency distribution, if you see, the geometric mean is equals to anti-log into summation f log x divided by n. Clear? We'll see one example here how we are going to calculate this geometric mean. Okay, find out the geometric mean of 2, 4, 8, 12, 16, 24. Okay, that is n, that is total number of observations, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Clear? See, these are the 6 observations, that is n. Okay, 6 root of, if you are multiplying all this and finally you are getting the value of 8.162. Okay, see, this is the geometric mean of the raw data. See, with the help of another formula. Okay, this is another method. I told you we are having another formula for the geometric mean, that is anti-log of summation log x divided by n. Clear? If you see, these are the x values. Clear? That means the raw data they have given. From this you have to calculate the log x. Clear? See, that means log 2 value is 0.3010, log 4 is 0.6021, log 8 is 0.9031, log 12 is 1.0792, and log 16 is 1.2041 and log 24 is 1.3802. Okay, summation log x is, we got the value as 5.4697. Okay, you substitute this value here, anti-log. summation log x, we got the value as 5.4697 here, divided by n, that is total number of observations are the 6. Clear? You will get the value as 8.1583. And in case of frequency distribution, how we are going to calculate this geometric mean, we'll see. Okay, this is the x values. Clear? See, frequency distribution means definitely there will be a frequency. Clear? They are going to be giving this kind of frequency. If you are adding all the values of frequency, you will get the total number of frequency that is represented as capital N. Clear? And you have to calculate log x. Okay, that means log 1 is 0, log 2 is 0.3010, log 3 is 0.4771, and log 4 is 0.6021, and log 5 is 0.6990, and log 6 is 0.7782. Clear? And next, if you see f into log x, we have to calculate this f into log x. 2 into 0, 0. 8 into 0.3010 is 2.4080, and 12 into 0.4771 is 5.7252. 16 into 0.6021, that is 9.6336, and 7 into 0.6990 is 4.8930, and 1 into 0.7782 is 0.7782, and summation f into log x is totally 23.4380. Okay, you have to substitute this in this formula, that is geometric mean is equals to anti-log into summation f into log x divided by n. Okay, we have this value of summation f into log x, that is this one, that is 23.4380, divided by total number of frequency, that is 46. If you are substituting, we'll get the value as 3.2322. Okay, this is if you are having the frequency distribution data, so we can calculate the geometric mean in this way. And next, if you see in the form of intervals, okay, if there is a continuous frequency distribution, okay, previously we had seen if they have given this continuous frequency distribution, how we have to calculate the arithmetic mean. In the same way, here also we can calculate the geometric mean for this continuous frequency distribution. Clear? That means marks between 0 to 10, 20 to 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, and 40 to 50. Okay, the number of total number of students that is going to be fall between 0 to 10 is 5, that is 7, that falls under 10 to 20, and 15 students falls between, that is 20 to 30, and 25 students falls under the marks of 30 to 40, and 8 students falls under the marks of 40 to 50. Okay, we have to rearrange the data like this, that is the marks and number of students, that is the frequency, capital N is the total number of frequency, and the mid values. Okay, here also you have to calculate the mid values, that indicates the x. Clear? See, wherever you are getting like this continuous frequency distribution, definitely you have to calculate the mid values. Clear? That means 0 plus 10 divided by 2, that is 5. 10 plus 20 divided by 2, that is 15. 20 plus 30 divided by 2, that is 25. 30 plus 40 divided by 2, that is 35. And 40 plus 50 divided by 2, that is 45. Clear? Next, you have to calculate the log x values, that is log 5, that is you will get 0.6990. Log 15 is 1.1761. Log 25 is 1.3979. And log 35 is 1.5441. And log 45 is 1.6532. Next, we have to calculate f into log x. That means this value and this log x value, that is 5 into 0.6990, you will get 3.4950, and 7 into 1.1761, you will get 8.2327, and 15 into 1.3979, you will get 20.9685. Next, 25 into 1.5441, you will get 38.6025. and 8 into 1.6532, you will get 13.2256. Okay, you have to calculate the summation f into log x. You got 84.5243. That means you have to add all these values. You will get 84.5243. Okay, you have to substitute in this formula, that is geometric mean is equals to anti-log into summation f log x divided by n. Okay, n means that is total number of frequencies, that is 84.5243 divided by 60. You will get the value as 25.6271. Okay, this is the geometric mean for the continuous frequency distribution. Okay, next we'll see about the harmonic mean. It can be represented as HM or capital H. Clear? See, if there is a set of observations, that is like x1, x2, x3 and so on, that is xn, okay, is the given set of n observations. Okay, then harmonic mean can be given by, okay, h is equals to 1 divided by 1 by n into 1 by x1 plus 1 by x2 plus 1 by x3 plus so on 1 by xn. Okay, that is equals to 1 by 1 plus n summation 1 by x. Okay, that is equals to n by summation 1 by x. Okay, in other words, if you see, this harmonic mean is the reciprocal of the arithmetic mean. Okay, see, in another sense, how we are going to be call it as a harmonic mean. Harmonic mean is the reciprocal of the arithmetic mean. Clear? See, that means in case of frequency distribution, this harmonic mean can be calculated by the formula, that is capital N divided by summation f by x. Okay, we'll see some examples how we are going to calculate this harmonic mean. Okay, see here examples for raw data as well as for the frequency distribution data. If there is a raw data like this 5, 7, 13, 22, 8, 9, find out the harmonic mean of 5, 7, 13, 22, 8 and 9. Okay, here this is the raw data, and from this you have to calculate the 1 by x. That means 1 by x means 1 by 5, 1 by 7, 1 by 13, 1 by 22, 1 by 8 and 1 by 9. You got these values, that is summation 1 by x is 0.7014. Okay, if you see, the harmonic mean is equals to n. Okay, that means n means the total number of observations, that is how many, that is 6. Okay, divided by summation 1 by x, we got the value as 0.7014. Here the harmonic mean for this data is 8.5543. Clear? And next one is for the frequency distribution data, how we are going to calculate this harmonic mean, we'll see. Okay, that means they have given the class intervals like this and they have given this frequency. Clear? See, I already told you, whenever there is a class interval like this, definitely you have to calculate the mid values. Clear? How we have to calculate this mid values, that is 10 plus 20 divided by 2, you will get this mid value. Okay, in the same way all these things. Okay, from this you get these mid values, and next you have to calculate f by x. Okay, this is f and this is x. Okay, that means 2 by 15, that is 0.1333. Next 8 by 25, that is 0.3200. 12 by 35, that is 0.3429. Next 16 by 45, that is 0.3556. Next 18 by 55, that is 0.3273. Next 7 divided by 65, that is 0.1077. And 3 by 75, that is 0.04. Okay, summation f by x is, if you are adding all these values, you will get 1.6268. Okay, harmonic mean can be calculated by capital N, that is divided by summation f by x. Okay, capital N, that is total number of frequency, that is 66 divided by summation f by x. We got the value as 1.6268. If you are substituting, you will get the harmonic value for this frequency distribution data as 40.5704. Okay, and next, okay, that's all about all the mean we had seen till now. That is the arithmetic mean, geometric mean, as well as the harmonic mean. Okay, next we'll see about the median. Okay, see what is meant by this median. Okay, it's very simple. This median is that the value of the variable which divides the groups into two equal parts. Okay, this median, which is the value, okay, that is going to be divides the entire group into two equal parts. Okay, that one part is comprising all the values greater than the other all values less than mean. Clear? See, suppose if you see one example so that you can understand what is meant by this mean. Okay, that mean is a value that divides the entire group into two equal parts. Okay, suppose if you see example, find the median for the following data. Okay, that is 5, 9, 3, 2, 7, 11, 37, 11, 10, 50. Sorry, this is 1, 5, and 13. It is not 15, it is 1, comma 5. Clear? You have to arrange in the increasing order so that see 1, 2, 3, 3, 5, 5, 7, 7, 9, 10, 11, 11, 13. See if you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, these are the 6 variables. Here if you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here also you are having 6 variables. In between you are having this value, that is the 7. So the median is 7. See, that means if you see this 7 value which is dividing this entire data into two equal parts. Clear? So this will be acting like a median. Okay, what is the median for this raw data? That is 7. See why? Because it is a middle of the value which is arranged in the increasing order. See, whatever the data if they have given, to find out the median, first you have to arrange that raw data in the increasing order. Then you have to see which is the middle value of the entire data. Clear? See, that will be acting as a median. And next one is, if you see, suppose if you see the data is like this. Okay, calculate the median of the following data. If it is like this, first you arrange in the increasing order. See, whatever the data they have given to calculate the median, immediately you have to arrange the data in the increasing order first. See, like this they have arranged the increasing order. Here 3 4 values will be there. Here 1 2. Here also 4 values will be there. See, in between you are having 2 values like this. See, what you have to do then, you have to take the average of these 2 values, that will become the median. Is it clear? Suppose if it is a single value, then directly it will be acting as a median. But in the middle, if they are having 2 values like this, okay, then you have to average that 2 values, that will become the median. Okay, see, and next we'll go on to the mode. Okay, we'll see. Okay, this is also very simple. This mode, calculation of this mode. The mode of the distribution is the value at the point around which the items tend to be most heavily concentrated. See, that means in the given data, if the one value is repeated many times, that will be call it as a mode. Okay, that is very simple. What is this mode? It is a value at the point around which the items tend to be most heavily concentrated. That means how many times, that is that is number that has been repeated, okay, for several times, that you will call it as a mode. That means if you see for the raw data, maximum number of repeated value in the variable is called it as mode. Okay, first if you see in this example, find the mode of the following series, that is 10, 11, 13, 10, 19, 22, and 10. See, in this case, 10 is 3 times repeated in this series. So that means the one numerical that has been repeated, okay, several times in the series. That is, if you see this 10 has repeated twice, so the mode is 10. Clear? Suppose if the two values repeated in the same manner, suppose find the mode of 5, 6, 7, 11, 5, 6, 20, 1, 3. That is 5 has repeated twice and 6 also repeated twice. So the mode will be both 5 and 6. Clear? And sometimes if they have given the data like this, find the mode of 1, 2, 3, 4, sorry, 3, 6, 5, 8, 7, 9. Here no one is repeated here. Clear? So here the mode is not defined for this data. Clear? See, and if they have given the frequency distribution data, that is the highest frequency corresponding variable is the mode. Clear? If you see, this is the x, that is values are 1 2 3 4 5 6, and the frequency is 2 8 12 16 7 3. See, in the frequency, the highest frequency value is 16. Okay, the corresponding value, okay, to this highest frequency, that is 4. Clear? See, the mode will become the 4. Okay, for the frequency data, you have to see the highest frequency corresponding variable will be acting like a mode. Okay, and next for the continuous frequency distribution, okay, how we have to calculate the mode, okay, we'll see. Clear? See, for that we are having one formula, that is a mode is equals to capital L plus, that is f minus f1 divided by 2f minus f1 minus f2 into c. Okay, small f indicates the highest frequency. Okay, f1 is frequency before the highest frequency, and f2 is frequency after the highest frequency, and the L is the highest frequency corresponding class interval lower limit, and C is the class interval. Okay, see, by this example you can understand for this continuous frequency distribution how we have to calculate the mode. Clear? They have given this class interval and they have given the frequency also. You arrange the data in this format. Okay, this is the class interval and this is the frequency. Okay, what I told you, small f is the highest frequency. That means among all these, the highest frequency is 22. So it is denoted as small f. Okay, what is f1? That is frequency before the highest frequency. That means before this is the highest frequency, that is f1. Next, after this highest frequency is this one, that is f2. Next, capital L is highest frequency corresponding class interval. This is the highest frequency. To this, the corresponding class interval is 50 to 60. Class interval lower limit, I told you. Okay, this is the lower limit and this is the upper limit. So this 50 will become the capital L. Okay, and the C is the class interval, that is 10 to 20. That is the class interval is 10. Clear? See, from this you have to substitute in this formula, that is L plus f minus f1 divided by 2f minus f1 minus f2 into class interval. Finally you get the value as 53. Okay, see, now we had seen the mean, we had seen the median, and we had seen the mode, but there is a relationship that exists between these three values, that is mean, median, and mode. See, what is the relation between these three? That is mean minus mode is equals to 3 into mean minus mode. Okay, see, that means mean can be represented as x bar, mode can be represented as z. Okay, 3 into x bar minus m. Okay, x bar minus z is equals to 3x bar minus 3 into m, that is 3m. Okay, if it is minus z, okay, you shift this x bar towards the right side, so it will become 2x bar minus 3m. Clear? That means if you want to remove this minus, means this will become the opposite. That means before this 2x will become minus, and before this 3m it will become positive. That is 3m minus 2x bar. Okay, this is important thing you remember. The relation between the mean, median, and mode is equals to z is equals to 3m minus 2x bar. Okay, so this is all about the three things, that is the mean, median, as well as the mode. These three are the measures of the central tendency. Clear? And next we'll see about the measures of dispersion. Clear? How we are going to, okay, define this dispersion. First we'll see here. See, this dispersion is a measure of the variation of the items. Okay, this other sense you can define as it's a measure of the extent to which the individual items are going to be vary. Clear? See, that means by seeing these examples you can understand how what is meant by this dispersions. Okay, we are having the different types of dispersions like range, okay, standard deviation, okay, quartile deviation and the mean deviation. But here we are studying about only the range and the standard deviation.